Which is better, A or B? Is B better or is C better? Is C better or is D better? An eye doctor examines your eye and makes a good guess about the best lens, but then tries variations to refine the prescription. Searching for information requires the same approach. Start with a good guess and try variations to find the best results for you. A strategy for refining your search is to try some TLC. Look at your terms, consider using limits, and examine your search construction. Let's first look at how terms can be adjusted. They can be adjusted by how many you're using and also which terms you're using. Let's say that you wanted to know about the HPV vaccine. It's likely that you might start with a simple search in Google, like this one. A simple search like this yields lots of information. We got over 1 million hits. The first results listed provide basic information about the vaccine. If this is what you want, it's a successful search. But if instead you're really interested in understanding the issue of mandating the vaccine, then you should add another term for more specific results. Now it looks like the top results are highlighting the different parties interested in the mandate issue. Another way to adjust terms is to use different terminology to express the same idea. Let's try another search in Google to illustrate this point. Sometimes terminology is loaded and represents not only a concept but a point of view. The first item found in this search is actually an advocacy site for the repeal of the estate tax. Notice, though, that the description there gives us an alternate form of terminology. So one thing we can do is to try our search again with this new terminology. Notice that the first item found here is from the IRS website. This is more official terminology. In this particular search, Google has provided some assistance with alternate terminology that might represent this concept. This kind of assistance is not usually available, however, so you may need to browse your results to get ideas for other related terms. Another way to adjust a search is by using limits. Different search tools will have different limits available, but generally you can limit by things like date, by field, by language, or other facets. Let's first try using the limiting feature in the library catalog. We'll start with a pretty basic search. As expected with a general search, we retrieved a lot of items. 2,000 items might not be much in Google, but it's a lot for a library catalog. So let's try limiting the search, and in this case it's called modifying the search. This takes us to an advanced search form, and just as in Google, we can limit a search by adding more terms. But we can also limit a search by facets such as date, language, or format. Let's limit the search to English. And let's also limit by date so that we only get newer items. With these limits, we've gone from 2,000 items to only 2. Does this look better? If it seems too restrictive, you may need to go back and alter your limits. You may not know it, but you can also limit by facets in Google. Let's start again with a pretty simple search. As with most simple searches, we get a lot of information. So let's try using the advanced search feature to limit the search. We can limit by adding more terminology, just like we did in the catalog. But we can also limit by facets, like we did in the catalog. Facets in Google include language, file format, domain, and more. We'll try using the domain limit and look for items that are only on educational sites. This limit has caused us to go from over 5 million items to about 24,000 items. Do these look better for your current research needs? Finally, searches can be adjusted by how they're constructed. A search is constructed with a variety of tools, like operators. Operators are things like the word and, or, and not. They can also be constructed by phrase searching, and also by grouping words. To show you what we mean, let's return to that search that we did in Google at the beginning. We can construct this search differently yet again to refocus the kinds of results we're seeing. Let's try reconstructing this search as a phrase search by using quotes. By putting these words in quotes, we're asking the system to find the exact phrase that we've typed, mandating the HPV vaccine. By scanning these results, it looks like that we've highlighted more pertinently the debate on whether or not the HPV vaccine should be mandated. Let's try using another kind of search construction in the Academic Search Complete database. We'll start by looking for articles on either materialism or consumerism. We get over 4,000 articles, and again, this number might not seem large for Google, but it is pretty large for an article database. So let's try adding the word happiness. This will help us find articles that have to do with happiness and either materialism or consumerism. First, notice that we've gone from over 4,000 items down to 48, so we have a much more manageable number of articles to read, and they're on a much more specific topic. Notice also above that we used boxes to enter this search, but the system actually turned our search into a grouped or a nested search. This kind of search can be used in other search tools as well. In fact, we can copy this search and paste it right into Google. The search does retrieve a lot of items in Google, but interestingly, we also get more choices. Notice here that we have the option of viewing just scholarly information on the topic if we wish. The most important thing to remember in doing better searching is to experiment. Remember that any search you do can be done a different way, and any search you do should be done a different way to see if it's better. Why be satisfied with seeing this when you can see this? Now you have the chance to experiment with a better search by answering the question here. Read the question and select what you think is the best answer. This is the end of the movie. Use the controls at the top right corner of the screen to play the movie again, or click the X to close the window.